the village of Adaeze, where the river bends twice before it reaches the sea, a man named Chidera was carried to his grave. His wife, Adaeze, walked behind the coffin wrapped in black hands on her chest, tears streaming down her face. The village wept with her. They did not know that those tears were the biggest lie ever told. In Chidera was not the richest man in Adaeze. He was not the tallest. He was not the loudest. He did not have a car or a generator or a big building with his name on the gate. What Chidera had was character. He was a carpenter. He worked with his hands. And whatever he built, whether a chair, a door, or a promise, it lasted. That was how he saw Adaeze for the first time. She was passing with her friends, laughing at something, wearing a yellow wrapper that Chidera said later that he felt something shift in his chest, like a door being opened in a room that had been locked for years. He courted her for a full year. He brought cola nuts to her father. He worked overtime to save bride price. He learned her favorite foods. He studied her silences, what they meant, when to speak and when to simply sit beside her. Her mother told her, "This one will not abandon you, my daughter. A man who listens, that is a man worth keeping." Adaeze married him. But here is what Adaeze never told anyone. She didn't marry him for love. She married him because he was safe. Because her real love, a man named Obinna, had already chosen another woman. A richer woman. A woman from Lagos with a degree and soft hands and a father who drove a Prado. And Adaeze, left behind, had looked at the quiet, steady Chidera and thought, he will do. Those 3 words, he will do, would become the crack in the foundation of everything. For the first year, the marriage was fine. Not on fire. Not electric. But warm. Stable. Like coals that glow without flame. Chidera loved her with everything he had. He fixed her problems before she finished describing them. He planted a small garden outside their window because she once said she liked flowers. He remembered every single thing she said and acted on it. She smiled at him. But in her chest, where love was supposed to live, there was a space. A hollow, echoing space. That same week, Obinna had come back to. Obinna. Adaeze. You look exactly the same. Even more beautiful, if I'm honest. Adaeze. Flustered, Obinna. I heard you were in Port Harcourt. Obinna. I was. I'm back now. For good. Tell me, are you happy? 3 words that unlocked everything she had buried. She didn't answer him that day. But she thought about that question for weeks. It followed her to bed. It sat across from her at the dining table while Chidera told her about his day. It whispered to her in church when the pastor talked about contentment. Are you happy? The answer she kept giving herself, even while Chidera held her hand, was, no. It started with messages. Then calls, short ones, made while Chidera was in his workshop. Then meetings. Small ones at first. I was just passing through that area. Then longer ones. More deliberate. And Obinna was patient. He was charming. He knew exactly how to make Adaeze feel like the most important woman in the world. Because for Obinna, this was not love. This was a game. And he was very, very good at games. Obinna, I never stopped thinking about you. The biggest mistake of my life was choosing her over you. You know that, right? Adaeze. Obinna, I'm a married woman. Obinna, are you though? Or are you just surviving? There's a difference, Adaeze. She knew it was wrong. She knew exactly what she was doing. But knowing something is wrong and stopping yourself from doing it, those are 2 very different things when your heart has been running towards something for years. While his wife was falling into someone else's arms, Chidera was carving her face from memory. Every evening. Every quiet moment. He had no idea. Or so she thought. Adaeze was a small village. And small villages have many eyes. Mama Agba, the oldest woman in Adaeze, who sat by the aqua tree every afternoon, she saw things. She always saw things. She had watched 3 generations of this village love and lose and lie and be exposed. She had seen this pattern before. Mama Agba, to herself, Noir and Igbo on Ya. This child is digging her own grave. What nobody in Adaeze knew, not yet, was that Chidera also knew. He had known for 2 months. Not because he snooped through her phone. Not because someone told him. But because of the wooden figurine. Chidera was a man who built things. And before he ever tore something down, he tested it first. He needed to know exactly what it was made of. So a plan so quiet, so patient, so precise, that only a carpenter could have conceived it. He would disappear. He would let the village believe he was, and then he would watch. He would watch what his wife became. Chidera spoke to only one person about his plan, his childhood friend, Emeka. Emeka thought he was insane. Emeka. Chidera. My brother. You're talking about faking your death. Do you know what that means? Chidera. I know exactly what it means. Emeka. The village will mourn. People will suffer. Chidera. The people who love me will mourn. I know who those people are. I want to know, is my wife one of them? Emeka. And if she grieves, what then? You come back and everything is fine. Chidera. If she grieves truly, if she shows me she loves me, I will come back, and I will hold her, and I will never speak of this. Never. Emeka. And if she doesn't? Chidera was quiet for a long moment. He looked at the wooden figurine on his shelf. Chidera. Then I will have saved myself from a lifetime with a stranger. 2 weeks later, the news broke in Adaeze like thunder. The carpenter had drowned. He had been traveling to the next village for timber when the small boat capsized on the river. His bag had been found. His sandals. His work cloth. Adaeze received the news in the morning. And the real watching, began. The village saw her cry. And the village believed her. But Mama Agba, sitting under the aqua tree far across the compound, she did not cry. She watched. And what she saw in that first half-second, before Adaeze's training took over, was something that turned the old. He watched her receive the condolences. He watched her cry into other women's shoulders. He watched her fall to the ground. And then, late that night, when the last condolence visitor had gone home, he watched through the window. And what he saw broke something in him that had never been broken. Adaeze, whispering, smiling, his gone, Obinna. His really gone. I know it's terrible, but God forgive me, I feel like I can breathe for the first time in years. It's finally our. He had hoped. Oh, how he had hoped he was wrong. He had built this whole test hoping, praying, that he would discover he was a jealous fool. That he would watch his wife collapse in genuine grief and feel ashamed of himself for doubting her. Instead, he had confirmed everything. 3 days after Chidera's supposed death, Adaeze had already begun moving things. She visited Chidera's brother, Uncle Adaeze, and began asking questions. Careful questions. About the land. About the workshop. About what Chidera had saved. Adaeze. I'm just thinking about what happens next. As the wife, I need to understand what belongs to me now. The land, the house. Uncle Adaeze, suspicious Adaeze. My brother has not even been buried, there is no body. Adaeze, I'm not saying, I'm just planning. A widow must plan. I have no one to protect me now. Oh, Uncle Adaeze said nothing. But he looked at her for a long moment in a way that people look when they are filling something away in their memory. On the 7th night, Obinna came. He came through the back gate, the one Chidera himself had built, the one with the latch he had specially carved to fit only that post. Adaeze opened it. She had changed from her mourning cloth. She had cooked. They sat at Chidera's table. They ate Chidera's food. They made plans in Chidera's house. Obinna, how long do you think you should wait? You know, before, people won't say anything if you wait a year. Adaeze, a year. Obinna, I've already waited too long. Obinna, laughing, you know I've always loved your boldness. Chidera was camped by the river. Emeka brought him food every evening, told him everything he saw. And every evening, Chidera sat with his tools and worked. He was carving something. A large piece. Complex. He worked on it with the focused grief of a man who has converted his pain into something that would outlast him. When Emeka asked what it was, Chidera just said, "A record." On the 14th day, the village of Aduya held a memorial for Chidera. Because there was no body, the elders said words over the earth. They poured libations. They called his name 3 times into the air. And then, from the back of the gathering, a sound. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. The kind of footsteps that a man takes when he has been waiting a very long time. The crowd parted. And Adaeze, slowly, as though her neck were made of stone, turned around. Standing at the entrance to the compound. Dressed in his work clothes. Carrying something large wrapped in cloth under his arm. Alive.